In wood carving, this is going to be a walking stick, and where this design is where it'll be gripped and held. I'm going to cut out these triangles, and I'm using an X-Acto blade. They're nice and sharp, and they have a nice thin blade. And at the bottom of the pyramid, I'm going to cut in a ways, probably about 1/8 of an inch, 3/16 of an inch. I get that deep enough, I'm going to use an angled chisel, and I'm going to come in from the top of the pyramid right at the peak, hold it at an angle, move my hand away so I don't stick it. And if you wiggle the chisel just a little bit like that side to side, tends to cut better rather than just pushing on it, which seems like when you push on it, try and force it, it lets go and you go too far and you'll remove this wood, which you don't want to do. So on this pyramid or diamond, I'm making a diamond shape, and it has a little bit of like where the two blades meet right there. That's basics of a diamond. You can mess around, and I mean, I just looked online and looked at some different designs and things and just drew them on here. This is a real rustic walking stick, so it doesn't have to be anything real fancy. Now this one is a V chisel, and for this scroll work I'm going to use that, and I just follow the pencil line, and again put some pressure on it and then wiggle it back and forth, and it cuts much better than just pushing on it. You want to keep this hand far enough away in case that slips so you don't cut yourself. And it seems like at some point you're going to anyways, but you want to be as careful as you can. And you just follow along that pencil line and clean it out. And I'm not going to go real deep because, like I said, this is where it'll be held on to. In the scroll work, there again, you just follow that pencil line around using this V chisel and wiggle it. It really helps out rather than just pushing on it. Just work it right around there. Be real careful because it's so easy to slip. And that's about as deep as I'm going to go. Here, I've started on a 4-leaf clover, and on this, draw out your design, whatever you want, and then this I'm going to use X-Acto, cut along the outside of one of the 4 leaves. And go along the stem a little bit. I've done a little bit of work on there. Cut that down a ways. Then I'm going to use the angled chisel. And then too, you can do a little bit of that wiggling. It helps it go right through that wood. And then I'm going in this way. I'm gonna come in at this angle, and I'm gonna lower this part of it, but I'm gonna leave these leaves alone. I'm gonna carve in a little bit, so there's a little bit of detail where these intersect. But then on this side, I'm gonna cut along this line with the X-Acto, and then I'm gonna come in this way, because you can't really go this way because you want to come down at an angle this way, so I'll need to turn this all the way around 180 degrees. But you just, this is relief carving, and you just move around, or remove the wood that's around the leaves, so that then they'll stand out just a little bit. I'm not going to go real deep. Just work my way around there. And by the stem, you got to be really careful, because if you get into that, you want to make sure this is all cut down far enough and deep enough, probably down 1/8 to 3/16. Because if you don't, when you take out this wood coming in this way, that's not deep enough. you'll chip out and take out the stem too. And that's where wood glue comes in real handy, because you can glue it back on, but it's nice to not have to repair stuff. So that's just really, really basic stuff of wood carving.